Too many pool heaters. Too little clarity on which one actually works. This video covers the 7 best pool heaters in 2026, from a $29 solar mat to a 400,000 British thermal unit natural gas system. No filler, no fluff. Just the right pick for every pool size. All links are in the description. Stick around, the #1 pick heats faster than anything else on the list. Starting at number 7, the ECOPOOLTECH Turbo X, the cheapest real heat pump for above-ground pools. Above-ground pools face 2 bad options: costly 200-volt heaters needing an electrician, or weak solar that barely heats. The Turbo X plugs into a standard outlet for real heating power. First, 16,184 British thermal unit tested output with a 5.6 coefficient of performance, up to 70% lower heating bills than traditional electric. Next, an AI chip holds your target temperature precisely with automatic defrost cycles in cold weather. Finally, a universal 110 to 120 volt plug. No electrician, no panel upgrade. Heating in minutes. The catch: a 5,000-gallon ceiling, above ground only. Customer support is email only. Slow heat up near the upper pool limit. Best for 12 to 15 foot above ground pool owners on a strict budget. Not for in-ground pools or large pools. At $441.15, this is the cheapest plug-in heat pump on the market. Tight budget? Start here. At number 6, the Varpoolfaye 16,000 British thermal unit heat pump. The best step-up plug-in heat pump with dual heating and cooling. Most heat pumps only heat. Summer waves push pool temperatures past 90 and turn the pool into a bathtub. The Varpoolfaye solves both seasons. First, 16,000 British thermal unit, dual heating and cooling. Heats 59 to 104 degrees Fahrenheit, cools 46 to 82 degrees Fahrenheit. Extends spring, chill August. Next, 50 decibel ultra quiet with water electric separation safety. No fan roar, no electrical risk. Finally, Wi-Fi control with app timer. Set schedules from your phone, check temperature from inside. The catch? A 5,000-gallon ceiling, above ground only. Cooling drops above 90 degrees Fahrenheit outdoor. Higher amp draw than spec, a dedicated circuit is safer. Best for above-ground pool owners in hot summer climates wanting year-round comfort. Not for in-ground pools or heating-only households. At $569.99, doubles as a chiller when summer goes brutal. Want comfort in any season? Grab this one. At number 5, the TURBRO Beluga B33V, the best mid-range 110-volt heat pump for 10,000-gallon pools. Want real heating power, but running a 240-volt line means cutting walls and paying for a panel upgrade. The Beluga B33V skips that with serious BTU on a standard outlet. First, 33,000 British thermal unit heating capacity, enough for above-ground and in-ground pools up to 10,000 gallons. Next, a 15.8 coefficient of performance rating from full DC inverter tech. Variable frequency slashes energy use over fixed-speed heaters. Finally, Wi-Fi smart control plus dual heating and cooling. Set schedules from your phone or drop water temperature in summer heat. The catch: 110-volt means slower heat up than 240-volt equivalents. The Wi-Fi app occasionally disconnects. Large footprint needs ventilation clearance. Best for mid-size pool owners who can't run a 240-volt circuit. Not for large pools or fastest heat up. At $1,099, the Beluga B33V puts 33,000 British thermal unit on a wall outlet. Need power without rewiring? This is the pick. At number 4, The AQUASTRONG 35,000 British Thermal Unit Inverter, the best overall mid-range heat pump for residential pools. Heat pumps look identical on a listing page. Real-world reliability is what matters when the pool's freezing. The AQUASTRONG is the most trusted choice in the category. First, 35,000 British Thermal Unit dual heating and cooling with a 15.8 coefficient of performance. Heats 47 to 104 degrees Fahrenheit, even cools when summer turns brutal. Next, ultra-quiet 48 decibel operation, plus auto defrost every 40 minutes. Runs through cold mornings without freezing up. Finally, a Wi-Fi smart app with schedule control, titanium heat exchanger, and 115-volt plug. Set it and walk away. The catch: 116 pounds, two-person install. A 30-ampere dedicated breaker required. The app occasionally drops connection. Best for serious homeowners wanting the most proven mid-tier heat pump. Not for budget shoppers or no Wi-Fi households. At $1,299, the AQUASTRONG is the safest mid-tier bet you can make. Want one thing that just works? This is it. At number 3, the VARMINPOOL V10 Plus, the best 240-volt smart inverter heat pump for 10,000-gallon pools. 110-volt heat pumps max out around 9,000 gallons. Going gas means high monthly bills. The V10 Plus splits the difference with 240-volt inverter power. First, 40,000 British thermal unit heating output with smart inverter, sized for in-ground and above-ground pools up to 10,500 gallons. Next, Wi-Fi smart app with scheduling. Set heating windows from your phone, automate around your swim time. Finally, galvanized modular steel housing with dual heat and cool mode, built to weather any season and chill in summer too. The catch: a 240-volt hardwired install required, electrician needed. The Wi-Fi app occasionally drops connection. 30 gallons per minute flow rate demands the right pump pairing. Best for 8,000 to 15,000 gallon pool owners with 240-volt available, smart home users. Not for above ground only or no 240-volt homes. At $1,499.99, the V10 Plus brings 240-volt inverter power without gas heater cost. Want app-controlled heat at serious BTU? This is the bridge. Quick reminder, hit like and subscribe if this is helping. All the links are below. Now, the top 2 picks. At number 2, the Raypak 266,000 British Thermal Unit Natural Gas, the best pool heater for fast heat up in any weather. Heat pumps slow down when outdoor temps drop. They struggle in cold snaps and shoulder season. The Raypak burns natural gas. Weather stops mattering. First, 266,000 British Thermal Unit of natural gas heating power. A pool that takes a heat pump 3 days reaches swim ready in hours. Next, polymer headers with copper tubing resist corrosion from chemicals and unbalanced water. The chemistry that killed your last heater won't kill this one. Finally, electronic ignition with a digital thermostat. Pilot-only lights on demand. No always-on flame-burning gas. The catch: a gas line must be run to the unit. Higher fuel cost than any heat pump here. Pro install needed for code compliance. Best for homeowners with gas already plumbed, cold climate pools, frequent entertainers. Not for budget shoppers or efficiency-first households. At $2,999, the Raypak is the gold standard for natural gas heating. Need fast heat in any weather? Light it up. Now for number 1. This is the only heater on this list built to heat a 20,000-gallon in-ground pool. Here it is. The #1 best pool heater for 2026 is the Hayward Universal H-Series 400,000 British thermal unit, the most powerful natural gas heater for serious in-ground pools. You invested years in your in-ground pool. A generic heater can't keep 20,000 gallons warm. The H400FDN is what professional installers put in residential pools. First, 400,000 British thermal unit heats pools and spas up to 1,200 square feet. Fastest heat up on this list. Second, a cupro-nickel heat exchanger resists corrosion. Saltwater, hard water, the chemistry that destroys cheap heaters, bounces off this one. Third, a digital LED display with self-diagnostics plus 84% thermal efficiency. The unit tells you what's wrong and wastes less gas heating. The catch, most expensive here. Pro install required, gas and electrical. The plastic bezel needs shade or a cover to survive direct rain. Best for 15,000 to 20,000 gallon in-ground pool owners, spa users, frequent entertainers. Not for above-ground pools or budget shoppers. At $5,099, the Hayward turns your backyard into a year-round resort. Want the absolute best? This is it. And that's the 7 best pool heaters in 2026. From a budget solar mat to a pro-grade 400,000 British thermal unit natural gas system. Drop a comment. Which one are you going with? And what's your pool size? Links are in the description. If this helped, hit like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.